All right, we're going to call the Park and Rec Commission meeting to order. It is Monday, September 9th. So the first thing on our agenda is public forum. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Please come up, the microphone, and give us your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Alicia Valentino. I live at 8 Lantern Hill Lane here in Guilford. I have 2 young boys, and I'm here to support the Splash Pad initiative. It would be great to have it at Jacobs Beach. I've traveled to other towns, and it would be great to not have to travel to other towns and spend the money here and stay in Guilford. And thank you, Mandy and the whole team, for all their efforts, and I hope it gets approved.
Anyone else who wishes to speak? Please.
Hello, my name's Michael Teep, and I live at 115 Russet Drive, and I'm also here to support the splash pad, specifically at Jacobs Beach. I have 2 children in the system, the school system, and I want to thank you for all the hard work you've done to start bringing that process along, so thank you for that. Funny enough, we too go to East Haven mainly, so, you know, and if you've got kids, you know how much that costs, so drinks, etc., all those lovely vending things. I'd rather spend it in my town than other places. So yeah, and that's it. So thank you for all the good work.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Wallace. I live at 386 North River Street. I support the Splash Pad because as a young mother with 3 young children, I have twins, they're 2 years old, traveling to East Haven or Old Saybrook, it gets a bit exhausting, and having it in your own town would be nice because it's local and safe. And it's also really good for special needs children, the water, and it brings a lot of sensory play and helps special needs children probably meet other children around the town. So it can bring children together and families, which is really important. So I hope we can all come together and make this happen. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm nervous. Oh, don't. We're very easy here.
Hi, my name is Janice LeAndria. I live on 91 Chestnut Grove, and we have lived in Guilford for 43 years, and my 2 children were raised here, and now I have 5 grandchildren, which my job is to babysit now, and I too would like to stay in Guilford instead of running across the highway and going to Milford and East Haven. I don't know, they let you in there now? And walk. Yeah, you can't do that with a lot of kids. And I've also gone to Old Saybrook, to Trask Park, which is very small. It's nice as well. But to have something like this in our town would be just the bomb, you know, for even like for the young mothers, like you said, with the twins and everything. And if it happens, we'll all be happy, the kids, me, and I think you ladies too. So I support it, and hopefully it happens.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, Kimberly Schmid, 140 Wild Rose Avenue. I just wanted to say I support it. I think it's worth every penny. We go to Milford, East Haven, Old Saybrook. We went 3 times to Old Saybrook this summer. We'd love to have something in Guilford. Thank you.
Not quite yet. So I'm Melissa Stevens. I live at 12 Story Lane in Guilford. I've come before, but I'm coming with Jacob. He would really benefit. So would my daughter from a splash pad, and if he doesn't completely destroy this room in the next 5 minutes, we'll be good. But it would be really great for young kids to have something to do, especially at Jacobs Beach. So we support the splash pad. Yes.
Hi, Erin Ethier, 34 North Madison Road. I'm returning in support of the splash pad as well, and have like a group text with about 8 other supporters who were unable to be here tonight because they were on the soccer field or working or various other things. But just wanted to follow up and show that I'm still very much in support. And also, I think someone was having a grandchild birthday party over the summer in Massachusetts. John, yes. Yes. And so I'd love to hear how that was if you went too. Oh.
They had a leak.
Oh.
So consequently, they had to shut it down for that weekend. And the consequence of that is that they use concrete for their pad. And I was told by the people who work at the Clinton Parks and Recreation Department of Massachusetts that if we decide to do this, do not use concrete. Because it is...
The opposite of what I've heard.
Well, children fall down, they fall in concrete. You have to make repairs, you have to rip up the concrete. So concrete is the least expensive, but it's also the least suitable.
Well, that's something we can talk about after.
Yeah, the architect, yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm. I do have a question, though, for you folks who go to East Haven, Saybrook, and Milford. Do they charge you as out-of-town residents to use their facilities?
No.
No.
No, Milford does it, and Old Saybrook does it, and they tell me East Haven doesn't.
So Old Saybrook has a sign saying you're supposed to be a resident. No one checks, no one asks.
I never saw that sign.
It's kind of, yeah.
There's never been a monitor
Milford and
there.
Old Saybrook are in town parks, not connected to like a beach. East Haven is at their beach, but you can't park
You
in their
can't park.
parking lot.
That's right.
You park on any of the side streets, it's all public, space, you can park, and then you walk over.
So accessibility is not an issue for these out-of-town locations then?
Well, parking is.
I would
Parking
think East
is.
Haven is probably the trickiest one. And then Milford and Old Saybrook are nice, it's just a bit of a drive. 25 minutes, I think, to get to Old Saybrook, and then Milford.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else who has
traffic on 95 on the summer?
Jeff Larson, 57 Whitfield Street. Here also in support of the splash pad. I think it'd be a great asset and addition to the town for my niece and nephew and future kids of my own in the future, and everybody else's kids in the town to finally have something local to enjoy. Hope it works.
Thank you. Anyone else who'd like to speak?
Is that it for the splash pad?
Well, if you want to speak, you're welcome
I
to
just
speak.
wanted to get all the splash pad out.
It looks like it, yeah.
Hi, Susan Egan, 144 Chaffinch Island Road. I'm here for the item D under 8 unfinished business. I'm sorry, E, ADA at Chaffinch Island Park in Lake Quanapug, specifically Chaffinch Island. I know that it needs to be put up to ADA standards. I would like to be able to have input. Would the public be able to have input into the plan before it's finalized? And is this also going to tie into the long-range plan for the parks? And I would think
What
you
I
would-
will say, I do not know about the public just yet. What I do know is that we have someone in town who is our ADA person, Kim, correct? And she would probably be the final say on what happens. She's the person who needs to go and look at all the properties. She has to have the final say. And then we will bring it to the commission.
And then will the public be able
I
to
don't
input
know.
into
I
it?
don't know if we have to do that. We actually have put in ADA access at Jacobs without public hearings. We've checked all our other facilities, made sure they're ADA compliable without public hearings. So I don't know if we're going to have a formal public hearing. I do believe you could come here and speak to it.
Once we know what the plan is.
We're working with Kim to try and get her
Okay.
to do
Yeah,
this,
well,
absolutely.
once we get the plan, we'll come talk to the commission about it.
Okay.
So that it is public knowledge.
Correct.
Isn't it pretty much mandated by state law?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And that's why we're relying on her to tell us what needs to be done and where we could put it and how we can do it. So it's not,
And do we have to worry about environmental concerns as well?
well, that's her
bailiwick.
That's her bailiwick,
Okay.
is that this is all done correctly.
Up to code.
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
why we're waiting upon her.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Faith Preczewski, 80 Hilltop Road. I'm also here concerned about how we go about the ADA accessibility. And I'm just thinking that we have a whole town of parks, and if we do it at the same time and we look at it holistically, we might get better prices on the picnic tables. And when we contract the handicap accessible toilets, we may get a better deal on it. So looking at it as a big picture, and also just a resident who lives near there and goes there often. Right now, the handicap parking place is at the high point where you enter into the park. So if you get out of a car and you have a walker or a cane or a wheelchair, the first thing you're doing is walking uphill. So at least my suggestions are on the low part where the porta potty is already now, it's pretty much a straightaway. And there are big rocks. If you can move a big rock so somebody can get through with a walker or a cane or a wheelchair, that would make it more accessible. And I do have experience with 3 nonagenarians. I'm fortunate to have 2 parents who are 93 and a mother-in-law who's 92. And they've all gone there with walkers and canes, and over the years it's progressed to wheelchairs, and it's accessible to them. So I just wanted to have that input without any, impacting the environment. So thank you for listening.
Anyone else? All right, and let's move on. Correspondence. We have a letter that came to us from Jeff Hutchison, our chief of police. Thanks and appreciation to the staff for assisting at the National Night Out. It rained that night, as I recall, didn't it?
Didn't stop the fun?
Well, I didn't come down because it rained.
Yeah.
Okay, but good for your staff, Rick. And then we have a letter from Lindsay Fuller, writing a letter to Taryn, complimenting her on how great she thought Camp Minnetonka was this summer. That's really what. Right, it's at Jacobs Beach. It's all at Jacobs. Right. The other is from Will Thompson, just to let us know that he would not be bidding on the splash pad.
Well, I think this one.
No, wait a minute. No, this is the other. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong
This
thing
is the
here.
wetlands,
I'm looking, okay, yes, this is the letter from the Inlands Wetlands has denied the enlarging the fencing at Lake Quantipoc. So I assume they'll come to us with something else if they want to do
Yes,
something
yeah.
else. I mean, that's really up to them to do whatever. It's not our thing, right? A note from Pam Miller regarding Terry Haskell is helpful and awesome, which is really great. We have good staff. And I don't understand quite, what came from Harry Martindale?
So Harry's a custodian at Cox
At
School.
Cox, right.
And that was our rain location for camp, and to Megan's credit, Megan Wallace, he said it was the best run camp we've ever had there. The place was always kept really clean, and he was very complimentary. And that's nice. I always tell my staff, the most important person in the school system is the custodian.
Well,
You got to, because it is, and I'm not being facetious, but we got to make sure they're happy when we leave the place, because if they're not, it goes to the principal and goes on beyond that.
Right.
So this was a nice thank you letter.
and I've heard really good things about camp this summer, so thank you
Yeah.
to everybody who worked hard on that. Okay, approval of minutes. We need to go back to July 1st. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes of July 1st?
I'll make a motion to approve July 1st, 2019 minutes.
Can I get a second? All right, any additions, corrections? We good? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain. Not here.
All right, now on to the minutes of August 5th. Short minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from August 5th, 2019.
Second, please. Any additions, any discussion, any questions on them? All right. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. expenses.
I'm here now.
You're here now. Okay, the July bills, a little late to be worrying about those, but we need to approve them.
Where did July end? 5 pages?
Should be 5 pages.
Yes. So any questions, any comments on July's bills? We're all pretty good on this?
All the same
Pretty much the
questions.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, motion to accept the,
I'll make a motion to accept the July 2019 bills at $149,589.47.
all in favor? August bills.
August bills.
Any question on our August bills?
Yes, I have a question on the very first line on utilities. Is this a, what is the difference between beach irrigation and, between line 1 and 2?
So line 1 is irrigation, the other one is domestic water, toilet, showers,
Okay, thank you.
sinks.
What's the Guilford Green Pit?
There's a spigot in the ground that the Green Committee had asked to activate a few years ago, because there was some seeding we did, and they wanted, we had some of the water that, with sprinklers water that area. And so, even when we're not using it, there's about $41 fee every month. So I do have it shut down during the winter months, like we do all the meters in town, to save us money over the non-watering months. But it's even though we use it, it's a $41 charge every month just to have it available.
Any other questions?
The only other question I have is regarding the Guilford weight room. Is Southern Connecticut Gas really that poor in sending their bills to us that they're not done on a monthly basis, that they come in batches?
It may come, it depends when we get them. Like sometimes, like if I get a bill tomorrow for this month, and then I'm going to get another one, there could be 2 to come to this body. Or, there could be 2, but these are 3. Yeah, I guess we just hadn't gotten them. Yeah, May, June, and July.
You have made, yeah, but the May one,
$800?
is that generally what we've been paying a month?
Well, that would have been probably, I bet you that was probably 3 or 4 months worth. That would have been like
What
Okay.
were we doing up there?
April and May, or
Okay,
maybe
yeah, just wanted
March,
to-
April, May.
Just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that, okay.
And there's, Nancy put in, the bill arrived
Yeah.
August, we didn't get it till
No,
August.
I
Yeah.
understand that, yeah.
We just got all these bills going back to like April or March.
Okay, any other questions on the bills? Motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion to approve the August bills at $140,399.61.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, rec reports. Any questions on Rick's report? What? Oh, you know what? We do. Okay. The Long Hill Park Barn Meeting Space. Can I get a motion to move that up so that he doesn't have to stay here for the rest of the night?
I'll make a motion to move up the Long Hill
Thank you for
Barn
reminding me.
meeting space.
Yes, second?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, all right, let's get to that. Do you want to address it first? Just I don't know if the commission's all aware of what's going on, so.
So if I'll introduce him, then Rance can make Rance is the president of youth football, done a great job working with the kids and communicate with us and back and forth, and he's a good community volunteer. So the issue is that evidently when the barn was approved by planning and zoning, it was approved as a storage facility. But there was a meeting room upstairs, and youth football does meet there several months out of the year. It was always approved as a meeting space by the building officials. I mean, it meets code, let me put it that way. They had to make a code, have kids up there, and they show videos and films, I guess, have meetings up there. But planning and zoning never approved it for that purpose. And so it has to go to planning and zoning for that purpose, but the commission has to approve it's in a park. and approve whether or not you want to have meetings being held in the building in the park, which you guys have been doing for probably a number of years anyway. Do you want to add to that, Rance, and what you use it for?
Just monthly board meetings. We host one a month during basically the summer months, and then in the winter time it's shut down, the electricity shut off, the heat, water, so we don't use it then. But we do host teams up there to watch film, have coaches meetings. Generally about a maximum of 30 folks, so maybe an hour and a half. And that's it. A couple of years ago, we went through and spent quite a bit of money redoing the entire upstairs, finishing it, bringing in all the furniture, all the electronics that we needed to host meetings and watch film. And so it was sort of, I guess, a surprise to us that it wasn't approved for that. So hence, while I'm here.
Do we anticipate there have to be any capital expenditures in order to bring it up to code or anything?
No, it's our code now. It's
Yeah,
code. That's code.
Paul Fazzino.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I met with him and a couple of other folks from the town about a month and a half ago. It meets all the codes, as far as fire, egress, emergency evacuation plan, all of that stuff. So we're completely on par with what the town's required.
How late are you usually there?
At the latest, maybe
Approximately.
9:30 at the latest.
Have we had neighbor complaints?
No.
Yeah.
Is there,
One.
when you leave, do you lock the gates?
Yeah.
You put the chain across the?
Yes, we do. The park ranger is exceptional. We have a very good relationship with him. If he sees that there are cars in the parking lot afterwards, he knows that we do host meetings, and he generally will either come in and knock and say, you guys got the gate, or we'll see him at a time.
So any other questions?
One thing might be helpful for us, Rance, and when the days you have meetings where you think you're going to go late, if you know in advance, let me know. I can let the park ranger know so he doesn't even bother stopping there maybe that night. If you know you're going to be there.
And if for whatever reason, whenever we leave, even if he hasn't come by, we usually will lock the gate behind us, maybe save him a stop, because I know that he does go to a lot of different locations.
Right.
So if we're done with the fields and with the shed and all that, we generally will lock up on the way out.
Do we have to make a motion or a vote?
Yes, we do.
I'll make a motion that we approve Long Hill Park Barn as a meeting space.
Second? All right, any other discussion on this?
Well, just one other question. Is that
Sure.
if we are making this a meeting space, does this make it eligible for other youth organizations to use the space as well? Not just to
That's a
the,
good question.
not to the exclusivity of just the football program.
Could open it up to lacrosse.
I mean, yes, if somebody asks, will it be available to them?
My feeling is no, because it houses youth football equipment that they purchase the building. I mean, I don't want to say no to anyone, but at the same time, they're liable for their stuff.
Yeah, I think, I was involved in youth football, and I think youth football built that.
Yeah.
correct?
Oh, yeah, I recall.
Yeah, youth football built that.
Yeah, and we maintain it, and all of our equipment is in there, and, that, I would just be worried about what is our liability.
Right.
Right.
If, we have insurance, obviously, to cover all of our folks, but,
What if the request went through you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
I'm sure I would have to probably contact an attorney to make sure that we had proper.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be the person to go through. You're not a town,
that's
you don't
really
belong,
above
yeah.
my pay grade.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
Well, can we-
But since they did build the building and have everything in
Can
there,
we,
I think we
yeah, can we make a motion that this be approved just for youth football meetings and use?
amend the motion?
I'll amend
You
my
can amend it.
motion.
That'll be satisfying, satisfactory.
Yeah, I'll amend the motion to only allow Guilford Youth Football to have meeting in that meeting space.
Okay with our seconder? Yes.
Can we, for the record, just include cheer in that?
Oh, yeah, Guilford Youth Football and cheer.
To make sure that we're fully covered.
Yes.
That is a good thing, yes.
Guilford Youth Football and cheer. cheerleading.
Is there room for an indoor splash pad there?
We got a cement pad that not being used.
Yes.
We might be able to.
You got pads just for time, right?
Okay, any other questions or comments on this? Are we good with it?
We are.
All right. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're good. You're welcome.
Thanks, Rand.
Greatly appreciate it.
And while we're there, just to let you know, there has been some concern over some of the things going on there. So we are moving the porta potties. We may have to move the water fountains, so we have to do a little reconfigurating there. So, just so you know that, it's gonna happen.
And since we're talking about Long Hill, and I'm a frequent user now, was never before, we only have 2 handicap spots there? The closest to the barn?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Did we have one in front?
No, they have do not park there signs now. They don't have handicap.
I had originally questioned.
There
that
was
we had-
one over there, I thought, yeah. I think
The signs got
must be on.
torn down,
Yes.
it got taken down during the winter
Right.
time, and they got replaced with do not parking rather
Right.
than handicapped. So, originally, yes, they were supposed to be handicapped. So-
2
where
in
it says
front
Ken
and then
Mulvey-
2.
Where it says
Right.
Ken Mulvey.
Okay.
field.
Just 'cause, I mean, it is, obviously, we know it's highly used park.
Right.
And Rance is very much on top of that space and takes great care of it, because I was parked there with my handicap spot and my handicap mother, and he came to double check that the 2 people that were parked in the spots, the only 2 spots available, were actually handicapped and had, but there were other people looking for handicap spots.
Can we-
All we have to do is just replace the do not park with handicap
Make sure we
signs.
get 2 of them in front as well?
Yeah, we can do that. So actually, what the history of that was, John, is that before we had the Mulvey sign, that's where the handicap parking was there too.
Right.
And we were then asked to not have it there because people parking there blocking the sign. That's why we put the no parking there. But, I mean, it sounds like there's a need
Offset it,
for
yeah.
it, so
Yeah.
we can offset it a little bit, you know. Yeah, we'll do
Considering the
that.
parking habits of the parents for sports in this town, handicap would be much more, what's the word I'm looking for, persuasive not to have people park there
Mhm.
rather than do not park.
Well, and plus we do need handicap spots.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, and like I said, Rance and all those guys are very much on top of making sure that you have a pass hanging or a sticker somewhere. And they will, I've watched them, they've asked people to move, so.
Yeah, we can get some more signs there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, back to Rick's report. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Rick's report.
Rick's report. Any questions on Rick's report?
Yeah, most of what's on my report is on the agenda.
Yes.
The only question I have for you, Rick, is that it's not isolated just to Adams Irrigation, but do we have an idea as to how stable our irrigation system is? I mean, do we have a risk of, I mean, how old is it? I mean, do we go through
Where?
maintenance? Any of our locations? Do we have any risk for failure in having water bubbling up in the middle of one of our fields? It's just, you know, it's just like a car maintenance. You
Right.
do periodic updates to make sure that all the stuff is working correctly.
Well, to answer your question, probably every field we get bubbles up.
Okay.
Almost every, well, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but every park, it happens. Sometimes after the winter, even though we blow the lines out, sometimes there may be a little residual water in there, you know, who knows? Over time, heads do fail, and they may just pop, you know, water's coming out like a geyser. You'll see in Tony's report, he talks about irrigation issues everywhere. This year, there's just a lot of them. But we do.
Is that the nature of the age of the irrigation that we have?
No, not necessarily. Some are newer ones that it happens. It's just heads, you know, maybe a mower hit it or something, and just things happen sometimes, or an aerator. The oldest system, I believe, is either the soccer field or the softball field at Vintner, and that's probably early 90s.
Okay.
But, you know, then we had the newest system was at Cox. We had issues with that, and we had to redo some things. Not we, the contractor, come back and redo some things. So it's just the nature of what happens. Sometimes the glue lets go underground periodically, or things happen. But we do go through it with Winterberry is our contractor. You know, in the spring, they help us restart up after the winter. They're involved with us when we blow all the lines out in the late fall. But when something goes wrong, either if Tony and the guys can't fix it, we get a hold of them, and they're usually there within a day or two.
Now, the only reason why I ask it is that I failed to bring this up regarding the August bills, but, $4,000 for Long Hill Park for 3 months of irrigation. But there's nothing here with regard to Cox and Leet. Does that go to the Board of Education?
Yeah.
Board of Education pays those.
Yeah.
So I just thinking that if we were a little bit more proactive with regard to irrigation repairs, that maybe the water bills would come down. That's.
Actually, this bill is low this year.
taking Cox off? I mean,
We should be taking it, are we taking it over?
We're gonna probably
We're
be taking it
taking it
on, probably, yeah.
so we'll probably be taking that bill on. then.
Right.
That's not
Yeah,
final.
I know what you meant.
It's not, no, I'm assuming that's gonna happen, but yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I've been hearing that that's in the works.
Okay, anything else on Rick's report? All right. Parks Foreman's report.
One thing I'll just mention, if we, on any questions you might have, Tony's commented that we need to retain employees. We're losing 3 people. One full-time, accepted a position in Branford. The pay is quite a bit more than what we pay. One of our seasonal guys got a full-time job in Hamden. We have another seasonal guy who has, I think in a second interview, we're going to probably lose. So we're down from, we should have 9 people right now. We're going to be down 3. We'll be down to 6. And it's a big hit. And fall is probably busier than summer in a lot of ways, because mowing's like crazy, all the sports are up back in line, all the high school sports. It's going to be a challenge for the guys, and so I've authorized some overtime last week just to try to keep up in the mowing and some ball field maintenance, and, we got to do it because we got to get it done. So tomorrow is the deadline for applications for a seasonal maintenance guy. As of today, Mitch told me nobody applied, not one applicant. And when we had the last full-time job, the new job we had, we only had 4 applicants. And 2 of them were really not even qualified. So we're in a tough spot.
This has to do with salary.
Yeah, how is it that we're not being competitive with Branford, Madison?
I can tell you they pay about $6 an hour more.
That is huge.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I think we see it across the lines with Parks Department jobs.
Right. As a commission, though, how much say do we have? We don't have any,
We have
right?
to rely upon the
Rick and I
town.
have gone a couple of times and met with Mitch, we met with Matt and Mitch, and we keep trying to explain to them that the reason we do lose a lot of good employees here is because they get higher paying jobs.
I don't think
I mean,
they
I
want
don't
to
know
leave.
how much more.
I don't think
They
no, I
like
don't think
working
do
here. It's a
either,
good
but
environment
I
to
don't
work
know
in,
how
but it's just,
much
you
more
can't
we
live
can
on it.
do.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep telling them that, and I'm sure we'll tell them this too. I mean, Mitch knows.
Yeah.
Mitch knows, I mean, knows, so I don't know what else we can do.
I just wonder,
$6 an hour, that's like.
I really wonder
a
how
lot of
much
money.
time we are wasting, which is dollars, training people, and, this constant turnover. There's a cost associated with
Oh,
that.
yeah, it's costing us money.
Well, there is, but I was also, we were told at one time that, well, these are entry-level jobs, so you have to expect people to leave. I know, I'm just
Yeah.
telling you what I was
we've been
told.
told.
So what is the
It's not
trend?
for want
What is the
of
trend?
trying.
No.
Like, how long have these employees been here? I mean, are you finding that it's,
Well, seasonal, this is maybe they're seasonal, so they don't work in the winter,
Right.
but they came back.
yep,
This is their second year. The full-time guy, the one who's leaving, 3 years maybe? I mean, I have to say that we have others that have been here and do stay. They've been here
Right.
for a pretty good long time.
Yeah, they do
Um,
like working.
Yeah, so it's not, I wouldn't say there's a lot of turnover. There hasn't been, but when we get somebody young and new, it's kind of hard to hold on to when other positions are opening up in other communities and they're paying that much more.
Rick, again, what job opening had no applicants?
Our seasonal park maintenance, it goes till early December.
Not one applicant.
No, not yet. I mean, tomorrow's the deadline, but, yeah.
Go for it.
And didn't we have this salary conversation about that program coordinator?
Yes,
too?
we
I
did.
mean, so it's not just the
Right.
vacancy.
And that was a huge fight.
Yep.
But on a positive note, Tony is amazing
Yes,
because
he
I
is.
was at my first fall baseball practice, and I called him at 7:15 and said, I'm being attacked by bees.
Wow.
And they were there at 8 in the morning and got rid of those bees, because there was 4 nests on that one fence.
Yeah, but I do think, we have to respect the fact that his hours and how much, one person can't do it all.
No.
Yep. We know that. So you can't keep always relying on the same person all the time either and expect them to.
Well, Rose, I sent you an email, Rick, about, I did a walkthrough of Vintner Park. The quality of the maintenance of the fields right now is at its best level. There cannot be any complaints with regard to the soccer field, the adult field, the Little League field at Vintner Park. They're all in pristine shape right now. Things are on the periphery could be, that's anywhere. But for those folks whose kids are playing sports right now, the fields are in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
Okay, and that goes to the dedication of the people who are managing them, which starts with Anthony and works its way down.
Yeah, and I can speak to, I had a family picnic at Jacobs this weekend. I don't know how many comments I got from family, like, wow, this is beautiful down here. Everybody, they were just like, they couldn't believe how nice it was. I said, yeah, it is nice. Thank you.
No, Anthony.
Rick, is there anything we can do? I mean, can you think of it?
I don't know. We've tried.
Because obviously the fields are going to suffer, parks are going to suffer.
Well, even this past weekend, I was at the officiating games at Cox, and Lower Cox Field, which was traditionally become very barren with regard to grass, all the grass had filled in. Upper Cox, same way. The fields were in, again, pristine condition.
Yeah, Tony's trying some new things with different soil amendments that we've never done before, and so we're experimenting a little bit with some different kind of organics and things. And I think we're seeing some positive results from that.
Yes.
I know I'm not part of the.
No, but as a
commission,
board of
but I
finance
had a
member, we'll
suggestion. The town of Guilford could post, there's a new group on Facebook called Shoreline Works. It might be a really good place for the seasonal position that you're trying to hire for. If they could post a job there, it might get you more than one applicant. You might get an applicant. Thank you.
It's called Shoreline Works?
Yeah.
Shoreline Works.
Okay, I'll tell Mitch.
Just to clarify, he didn't come at 8, Jan, he came at 8 in the morning when he was supposed to, on his time.
No, I'm just, I know it's just some people have a really strong work ethic, and then I feel like people can't say no, and I'm one of those.
Yeah, me too.
So, you just have to set boundaries with that. You can't expect the same person all the
Is
time.
he salaried or hourly?
Showing up.
He's salaried,
He's
and he puts
salaried.
in more hours than
Yeah.
he's contracted, so that's another, we've tried to work on his salary as well.
Yeah.
Well, we may get there, we keep working on it.
Slowly but surely.
Okay, Ellen's report. And with Ellen's report, I think we need to look at Taryn's report.
Yeah, Taryn did a nice job with that camp report there. Just to highlight upcoming events, it's a very busy September and October. We'll talk about the disc golf course opening later, I guess, but the window scarecrow and window painting at Scarecrow, Ellen and the Youth and Family Services staff went around last week and made all the arrangements with the different businesses for painting the windows. And we're doing something different. That's haunted hayride. Remember, some of you might remember years ago we had one at the fairgrounds, and we're combining. Actually, it was initiated by Doug Shaw, who used to work with me here when we used to do the one at the fairgrounds. So it's combined with the Y, North Branford Parks and Rec, and Branford Parks and Rec, and us. And so it's going to be in North Branford. And it's at a farm there, right, or a park. I'm not sure which location is. Yeah. And so that's a combined event. We've never done something like that before. So it's Ellen and Taryn and Connor have been going to those meetings with the other folks from those departments. And then we'll have our Spooktacular on the Green coming up. Well, we'll have another meeting before then, but, that's the trunk or treat. Usually about 36 to 40 cars lined up there, and costume parades and all kinds of stuff. It's a busy couple months.
Camp was awesome.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out, Terry did a nice job writing this up. If you look at Get Out, Way Out, week 1, 90 kids.
Yes.
There were years we used to get 8 kids
Yeah.
for that camp. And there were 90 we had that first week this time around.
Remember we had the question of, about, the traffic that was in the area, near the beach. I wonder if we did a pickup at, for at least get out, way out, like at a commuter lot or something, it might ease things up there. I don't know, it's just a thought.
Depends if they leave right away.
Yeah, sometimes they're either at Chittenden or at the beach and they're, doing some things, some activities before the bus leaves. Yeah, I mean, it's a valid point, but I think it's gotta be at a park somewhere. It's convenient for the parents though, because some of them have kids in Mononkatuk, some would get all the way out. If they were in 2 different areas, getting there would be tough. That was
I'm just
really
saying,
popular.
as we're growing and then
Yeah.
with splash pad, we might want
But it
to
is
think
something to
about
think
that.
about.
Yeah.
We have to pave the ocean or something.
Yeah.
Seniors report.
Okay,
wow.
seniors report.
I'm a few years off, huh?
Okay, trip.
Yeah, interesting, this is September 17th. So there's a new group for people 90 and older. Somebody mentioned that about your mother-in-law. There's a new demand. There's a group of 90 and over people that want to start having programs for that age group. So we almost have 3 generations of seniors, 2 definitely. We got the young 55s and we got the people in their 90s. So that's something new that's starting. And you see the meal counts have gone up as they seem like they're due every month.
Surprising for the summer.
Yeah.
So it's remarkable.
I'd love to be on that conversation.
Oh, they just said, well, this one's gonna be housing issues for people over 90, Yeah, no, it is good. Okay, and then there's the building maintenance, but I think, is that coming up later on too? The building furniture, I know this will come up in the other reports, but let me talk to it now. In the Alexandra Lounge, there is a card table, and the wood is literally just peeling off of it, and it really had to be replaced. We're not doing this because, I know it says they're color coordinated and it's gonna look nice, but we're doing this because the card tables are shaky, and that table is literally falling apart.
And I'm sure it weighs a lot. Is it like?
It weighs a lot, and we
Yeah.
can't fold it up and move it.
Yeah, yeah.
And with the senior fair, we need to do that as well. So we just had to do this. So I didn't want you to think we're just doing this to make it look pretty.
They actually came in Friday. They're there now. They look nice.
Oh, I'll check them out.
Yeah, look nice.
But yeah, I just wanted you all aware of that.
The seniors like them already.
Oh, they didn't want us to change it, see?
With regard to Todd's report, under plumbing, with the Lake Quannapock bathhouse.
Yeah, the hand dryers?
Hand dryers.
Yeah.
I would strongly recommend that.
I think we gotta look into that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have too many children there who don't know the difference between trash can and a toilet bowl.
Yeah, paper towels get in there and
Paper
clog
towels,
everything up.
Don't pick on the kids, that's the adults too.
I am being very charitable with my assessment.
I think that's valid.
Yeah.
As well. That comment just reminded me, I'm just curious why at Lake Quannapock there's no, like, there's the shower, but why isn't there a low one by your feet? I have no spigot. I think it every time and forget when I'm gone, but every time I'm there, I have thought that it seems simple and would be useful, especially because sometimes you have little kids and they can't manage with the shower. Anyway.
That's something to.
What's the access, the doors access panel for AHU walkway, what's?
That's just, it's in one of the, what do I call it? It's an HVAC room. I believe it's off the exercise room. And so to be able to get, you had to cut an opening. Sometimes you have to get through up here.
Oh, okay.
And you had to cut an opening in a wall to get in there.
Yeah.
And rather just have the opening, they got a little door that Steve and Todd are ordering to put there. So if they got to get back in there and walk on the beams up there, they have a way to get in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, report, standing fields. Anything new?
I'll have to defer to Rick on that.
Anything
No.
new?
No, just working on still some issues with few outstanding issues with infill of the synthetic turf field. It's being worked on and resolved. I mean, it's playable and everything, there's just a little bit of debate about it. It'll get fixed. I think that's it. Yeah, because I have Adams Irrigation later on.
All right, Green Committee.
They met last week, and they're revising the rules for monuments and plaques on the green. They made a proposal to the Board of Selectmen, which they didn't vote on this meeting this past week. They tabled it for now, for the next meeting. It's just a new policy for plaques and monuments on the green. And also, they talked about private parties on the green, if those should be allowed or not. I think what brought that up is the performing arts festival's coming up, and there's a tent.
And there's a tent.
And it's by invitation, or, I mean, you have to pay to get in, to the tent to be a part of this opening thing, which has been approved. I think that's something that got the Green Committee starting kind of thinking about that a little bit. And the only thing else is there's going to be a new monument or a plaque recognizing American Legion. It's going to go right in front of the World War I monument down by across from Pages. American Legion is 100 years old, so there's a little plaque that's going to go in there, and that's been approved.
Land acquisition.
Nothing I can share with you.
Okay. Community center improvements, Todd's covered most of it, and I think, aren't we talking about the, is the ceiling on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get there. Okay, splash pad, you're up.
First, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for volunteering your time and being on this board and commission and taking the views you take. And thank you to Mandy and her committee for all the work they are doing to bring this to light. So we've met as a subcommittee. As you guys know, over the past year, we've met with different companies, with Rick at Jacobs, Bittner, Chittenden, just about anywhere we could. And we've made a choice. Rick sent out the proposals, we got 3 back, and the subcommittee decided that they liked Schmidt Design Group. It should have been in your packet. So hopefully you guys read over that, and if you have any questions, we can answer them, but if you want to know the reasons we chose, the biggest one is that their experience. They've got well over 30 years on this. They're used to the area, the type of land that we're looking to do it on. He's got creative ideas on how to repurpose the water, because we all know that that was a question on what would we do with the water. And out of the 3, this group was the most on the same page with us as far as design and appearance of it, not wanting it to be a huge Taj Mahal splash pad, stand out, here I am, trying to keep it close to the shoreline appearance and tied in properly. So if you guys have questions on location or anything, Mandy's here, she can help answer, Veronica's here. You guys can ask me anything.
Question with regard to water flow. Is it going to be continuous, or is this on demand with switches? Or
it'll be like most parks that you'll have to turn it on, and it's usually a solar power or motion detected, and it runs for a certain period of time. And then it turns off, and then if you want it to turn back on, you've got to go back and turn it on.
Like an adult hot tub then, we have to do. Okay.
But I got a bunch of questions.
Shoot.
So, and I before I get started, I think it's a great idea. I really do. But of course, we all want it done right. Now, the July minutes talks about the feasibility study. Now, is that already going on? I'm confused about what this feasibility study and this request for proposals that we got.
So the original thought with the feasibility study was to determine if Bittner or Jacobs was more feasible. And then after the committee talked about it, and then some of these guys, well, 3 of them, went up to Bittner. And the limitation of Bittner was it's a well. And so I thought that almost, not completely, but almost strikes it out as a possible.
Okay, so we never did it. We never spent money on a feasibility study.
No.
Okay, okay, I got you. Okay.
The feasibility was going to be which is a better place to do it.
Okay.
And that kind of got eliminated with the well up there.
Okay. Can I continue, Claire?
Yeah. Sure.
Is anybody gone to see their work that you're recommending?
One of us, someone on the committee, I'm trying to remember who it was.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Is anybody talked to the, who hired them?
Who, the users?
Yeah, has anybody contacted the users? Hey, did they do a good job, did a bad job? Did you have any problems with
They
them?
did a stunning job.
What's that?
They did a wonderful job. I talked to the people at Pasture Park in the city of
Oh, great.
Norwalk.
Bingo,
And
okay.
They did an outstanding job.
Great, okay. My other concern is the gentleman, I guess he's on the Inland Wetlands Commission. He said that wouldn't be feasible to have it down there, right?
That was Will Thompson.
About runoff.
Is that a
Will Thompson is the,
Who's the person that,
he's the gentleman who did the whole site
He's the
plan.
architect that did
He's the architect who did the whole site plan for Jacob's Beach when we were first.
okay, but the gentleman that wouldn't approve, he's on the Inland Wetlands, wouldn't approve Lake Quanapog for the,
That's the Inland Wetlands Committee.
but that's a different person.
Same individual,
Different project.
Oh, yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
individual.
Yeah.
All right, so my concern, so his report is saying that it's not feasible there. He said, right? Isn't that what I read in his,
So he's the architect.
He was offered to make a bid and be a part of this.
Yeah, I know,
He
okay.
declined it.
He declined it.
And out of all the other companies, we met with 3 other companies, and none of them are on the same page with him.
yeah. I read Ms. Kern, his letter here saying that there's no way in the world that it would be able to go down there. That's my concern.
That's his personal opinion.
Okay, yeah, I understand it. Yeah, I know, I understand that.
Yeah, because none of these other companies have any of the same concerns that he does, that he brought up.
And they've all been down there?
They've been down there, but they've all done beach work.
Okay, and they don't see a problem. Okay, then that,
Thank you.
then that
Nope,
answers good.
good question.
So what would they do about the water from the south end?
Well, there's, he brought up an idea of using a rain garden. We can use it for irrigation. So, that's something that we have to come up with along with our design on how we want to repurpose
That's one of the things I
water.
wrote into the spec for the RFP, was that they got to come up with a plan to reuse some of that water, so splash pads basically have 2 different types. One's called the recycle and recirculating, and that I think Will might have been referring to in his letter, where you have to have filtration systems, and, it's got to be, because of the velocity zone, it all has to be like 5 feet out of the ground, all that kind of stuff. But then the other type is a flow-through system, where you're not recycling it. It's gone. The water is just drained out. But in the RFP, one of the things we put in there is that they got to come up with a plan to reuse some of that water. We don't want to just waste hundreds of thousands, whatever amount of water it is, and reuse it in some way, whether it's irrigation or rain gardens or something. And I think that's one of the things the committee liked, is that this individual has experience with that and reusing the water in some way.
Is our town engineer been down there at all to take a, or is it just that'd be a waste of time? That's not his expertise or anything like that?
She will be involved, but she hasn't been to this point, because we don't have a design to show her.
So it wouldn't be, it'd be useless to have her go down?
Right.
Oh, yeah, got it, okay. Got it.
One of
Okay.
the other things is that we asked, in addition to the flow-through system, is to use, for lack of a better term, the conservation faucets or,
Really efficient, like water saving.
yeah, water saving
Like the
spigots.
low- Yeah. the low
You
flow.
know, just to, because water was an issue for us. We wanted to make sure that we
Yeah.
were using the most cost-effective and
Yeah.
efficient.
Got it. You answered all my questions, and thank you.
I just have another question is, have we discussed what the hours and time of operation going to be? Is this going to be May till September? Is it going to be 6 in the morning till 6 at night? it's.
We have not done that yet, because, to me, that's like later on, if it's not even approved, I'm not gonna put all this, together. But it absolutely will have timed. That's one of the things that we discussed, that it would be, Old Saybrook has time limits when it's supposed to be run, and it does shut off, like it's off by 3 some days. Camp uses it some days, so there's certain days where you can't go. It's Tuesday and Thursday mornings or something. So, we will have a sign. It will have timing. We'll obviously have to work with Rick Ellen and the aquatics team and camp. We want to make sure that everyone is.
Now, is this going to be an open design, or is it going to be gated so that the area is going to be restricted?
That'll be part of the design, but we were thinking more of a, like, seating around it to, close it in a little bit, but not like have a big giant fence around it, because to us, that would take away from the beauty of where it's going.
Yeah. We have a built-in seawall, which kind of helps with the sand from blowing.
Yeah.
And gives you an area to sit on.
Is there any estimate as to the amount of flow of water that might be used in the course of the day?
It depends on how many spigots we choose and what ones we choose.
And that was one of the things that was in the RFP too, that they had to figure that out.
Well, that's going to.
Based on the design, of course.
Well, that's also going to
water.
cost, what the amount of water that's going to be.
Right.
Flowing through that meter. We're going to have a separate meter for this as well. Okay.
The hours, so obviously, I know it's getting ahead of it, but so if it's gonna be at Jacobs, then you clearly have to have a beach pass to get in there.
Yep.
Right, so.
Or you pay the daily rate.
Yeah, where you pay the daily rate, because I know you guys had said some places you go, you park somewhere else, so I just don't want to see that become a problem, where now people are parking all over the place outside of Jacobs and then thinking they're gonna get in and.
Well, fortunately for us, there is no parking on that
True.
road, so that's.
True. Yeah.
But people do park at
Still have Chittenden.
You have Chittenden,
Right, no, I
that's concern,
was
but-
getting to that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
that's an issue
Well,
now.
Right.
We have that issue now. Right.
Exactly, we do, I was gonna say, we do.
We're gonna get to that later.
Yeah, okay.
It's definitely been in our thoughts on. And the other part in the RFP that was brought up was parking. We asked them to have some help, asked for help with some parking that we have there. So, all things that are
And
to
you
do.
and I have talked a little bit about the parking down there and how we think we might be able to expand it a bit.
Do we have a most efficient layout of the parking spaces now?
Well, we're going to look at that again,
Okay.
before next year, so, yeah, definitely.
We were asked questions about liability insurance. There would be, it's no more than it would be in any other town park if you added a swing set or a playground. It's simply a matter of a rider to the town's policy. So that would, it's really,
It's affordable.
yes,
Thank you. So, what would you like from us tonight? You're the committee.
We would like for you guys to go ahead and approve us moving forward with Schmidt Design Group to go ahead and start designing with us. And the money for this will be through fundraising through the Splash Pad Committee, but like the dog park will come through Park and Rec Commission. So be it that you guys move us forward.
Is that your motion?
Oh, well, I can't make the motion, can I?
Okay.
Well,
May I
then,
just add to that, because I think what Mandy's request too was that we front the money, is that correct? Because you haven't raised any yet.
We can't, right, we haven't started fundraising yet, until we have it.
But then we get reimbursed back when they start the fundraising. Again, we did that with the dog park. Yeah.
With that being said, we do have a sheet of pledges already running, so we have at least 30 pledges, most of them for bricks, which is one of our biggest intended fundraisers, and a number of organizations that are kind of waiting for you.
All right, so that was your motion.
I will make a motion that the Park and Rec Commission approve Schmidt Design Group to go ahead and design the splash pad with the Splash Pad Committee, and that the Park and Rec Commission front them $21,000, and the Splash Pad Committee will pay back.
Second. When do you suppose they're going to do this? Can they do it before winter, or will this be done in early spring?
Well, we still have to go to Board of Selectmen, have to still approve.
Do we have to go to,
But I mean, when you
planning
look
and
through
zoning as
this,
well?
and there's that, I mean, once everything's approved and we have the design and everything picked out, the faster we do that, the better, because then they can order the parts and then come spring.
Spring just.
And it, I mean, one of them, I think it said it only took a week to build.
Oh, wow, okay.
So,
And we're cognizant of the need to make sure that we're done before camp starts.
Yes.
So we're not interfering with camp. So that's why we're doing sort of the legwork now and over the winter to raise the money and order the parts, so we're ready to go come spring.
Great, fast track.
So, back to the original point that I had with regard to the design, is this including concrete as the base? Or
Well, we don't know yet.
that wasn't included in the $21,000 proposal?
This is just for,
An RFP.
yeah, tell us how much it's gonna cost us, how much do we have to raise, what's it gonna look like? And part of that will be, is it a concrete pad, is it the rubber that you were speaking of earlier? Is it 50 water spouts, is it 25 water spouts? Is it, give us a better idea.
And I
Are they
assume
gonna-
you'll come back to us with all of that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
As soon as we have it, you'll see it.
Yeah, okay.
And that's also part of our ability to fundraise. I mean, it's hard to raise money, people don't know what they're
Exactly.
contributing for. So if we have a picture and a design, they'll.
Right.
And again, I mean, our hope is to make it as natural looking as possible. I mean, we're not trying to have the big bucket and pouring down on everybody. Though there are a few people I'd like to put under that bucket.
Doesn't need to match the Greg Mighty's this time, does it?
Well, maybe, you don't know, we're
You
trying.
don't know.
So,
Okay. All right, any other questions? All right.
Stand up there with a bucket.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, go for it with our blessing.
Thank you very, very much.
yes, Karen.
I just need a little kid to bring there now.
Oh, you can bring one of mine. Happily give them up.
No problem, Rose, you're setting yourself up.
Yep, watch what you wish for.
Okay, let's move on to unfinished business. Disc golf course, the only unfinished business is come Saturday,
Man, that crept up fast.
right? Come Saturday, what time Saturday?
11 to 2.
11 to 2, grand opening, please come.
This Saturday, Rick?
This
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, and this, just so you can see, this is, I'll pass this around, this is heavy duty. This is the Carson Tosta who came to us to put the cedar posts in. He took it a step further and made the cedar frames.
These are awesome.
They're very, very durable. He put all those up, and then Todd printed up all those fairway signs.
They will go inside the glass.
Right.
Wow.
Those are all up, it's all done.
gosh,
Everything's
they're
done
so
except the
happy.
the sponsor signs I ordered, we're just waiting to get
Our
those.
Eagle Scouts rock.
7 Eagle projects up there. In fact, I think in the
That's
packet I put some
amazing.
pictures so you can see. These are the benches that
Oh, you
Calder Scott
You got them
made.
all done?
The back 9, yeah.
Wow.
And another Michael Neese is gonna do the front 9.
Okay, that's good.
And there's Carson with the sign he did. And then the Eagle Scout who did the bridge. This bridge is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
That bridge is awesome.
It's astounding. He did a great job.
Are we going to have, if somebody wants to play but they don't own their own discs?
We were gonna provide 100 discs on Saturday. We ordered 100 discs to give away.
That's good.
It's getting a lot of use. I was up there yesterday, and there were 4 people playing when I was there. When the scout, one of the groups was working on the tee pads, there were 20 people came through playing. So it's already getting a lot of use. People have come from California, Vermont, somewhere else down south, I forgot where. They're not coming here just to play disc golf, but they're in the area, they heard about it, they're going to check it out. But all the feedback, there's a Facebook page with there's 73 comments or likes on it, I think, and anybody that I've talked to, they have nothing but really positive things to say about it being a really nice course. So, Craig did a great job designing it. Yeah, everything's done.
And do each hole have a name?
They all have a name, just like on there, everyone has a name.
That's fun. What is that Rocky Road and that one?
Barker
Hill.
Basically, we use street names for the most part, I think. And,
Thank heavens for the Eagle Scouts.
Seriously.
Well, you know what, if it's okay with you, I'd like to move up new business item A. We, at our last meeting, we did not have a quorum, as you are probably aware. And Calder Scott came to us to make the benches, and time was of the essence. And so we sort of gave him a go-ahead and said, please start the benches. So what we do need is a formal motion and approval for both him, and also the same thing happened with Noah Provencher?
He's coming next month, but Zach Neese,
Zach.
N-E-I.
Zach was the one.
S-S.
This is a notice of that.
So Zach is going to do the front 9 benches. Calder already did the back 9, just like what you see in that picture there.
So can we get a motion to approve Calder Scott's benches?
No cost.
Second it?
Yeah. Okay, I'll
Is he the
second it.
smiley kid in the picture?
Yes, this is.
Yes.
him.
Well, we have
and
to
they're
approve
cool
it.
And he used, I mean, the materials were there.
Yeah.
So
Everything.
it was just a wonderful
And
project.
those benches, that wood all came from right there. They're
That's what
just
I just said,
dead
yeah.
trees, used what was there, no cost
So
to
that was
anybody.
just a really great, okay, and Zach's 9 benches, can we get a motion to approve those?
It's not Zach.
No, wait a
No,
minute,
Zach,
who's
he won't
coming?
start this Sunday. He's going to do the front 9, that's the back 9.
Right, but doesn't he have to come present it to us?
He doesn't have to, as from the scouts' perspective,
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
have to do it.
He has to present it to his own committee.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again,
And they've
time was of
approved
the
it. It's gonna be
essence
the
here, so
same-
we
Same
told him
idea.
that we.
We're talking about 2 different things right now.
All right, no, Calder came
Calder
last
came.
month.
I remember that.
Okay.
But
Zach
Zach,
has not come before us.
Right, okay.
because he's doing the same thing.
He's doing the same thing,
Mhm.
okay.
But he approached
Just a
us.
different part.
Different
Okay.
part, and we told him, again, time is of the essence, so we said to him, we go ahead and
Both of
start
them,
because
time
we're
is of the essence.
pretty
Go.
sure that
Okay.
the commission will
So we're
approve.
approving both.
I got it.
Yes, so let's approve Zach's as well. Motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve Zach making benches for the front 9 holes.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we're good on both of those.
So the other one, then, the other Eagle project on here, I
So
think,
he's
that's
gonna
Teep. He's going to come
come
next
next
month. I
month.
think. He wasn't ready.
Okay. All right. See, I've got so many little notes here, I'm so confused. It's fabulous.
Excuse me, before I forget that, what's the address at,
I think we approved both of them.
for the disc golf course, Bittner Park?
Oh,
God, it's a 1480 or 1490, I looked it up.
That Colton?
Did we approve Calder or just Zach?
Just, I think we did both.
Oh, we did?
We did both. Trust me.
One is after the fact, the other one's going to be a
Come on,
Sunday.
guys, give me a break here today. We've got a long agenda. Okay, can we move on?
Sure.
Parking issues. The good news is that our first selectman is going to go to the historic district.
Oh, for parking issues here.
Parking issues here at the community center. So he's going to go to the historic district to start the first steps towards hopefully increasing our parking. So we'll see how that goes. Request for a bench from, you have to see the cars all over the place.
Yeah, I know.
Request for a bench from Christine Charneco. Now, that's the one for
Jamie West.
Jamie Wexler. Okay. And they want to put it at, remind me someone, Jacobs. And we have room.
Can I be honest with you? I think it would be a really good idea if we were to do this, because this is somewhere that his children are gonna be, and they're young children. Maybe wait on it until the splash pad is in and have it nearby there.
Good point. Other use of benches there, right?
Yeah.
I have a question. One thing I noticed at the surf club where they have dedicated benches, they have a plaque that's about the size of a business card that is placed on the bench. No long, flowing tributes or whatever. I'd like to suggest that we establish a similar policy.
That's what we have, right?
We have that.
That's what we have.
Well, I mean, I've seen some of the benches over at Chaffinch Island and.
Well, those, you're
Yeah,
talking about the wood,
The
the
stones.
stone ones.
Stones.
No, we're talking about wooden picnic benches. Those, we always have just a small plaque on.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
about like that.
All right, well, I
Yeah,
can't,
yeah,
I did
no,
not
that's right.
differentiate bench
Yeah.
from bench.
Yes, no, I understand. I
Okay.
understand.
But no, that's just a personal preference.
Yeah, no, I think we all agree with that.
Okay.
We've been doing that right along. And the same thing with the Adirondack chairs. We just put a small,
Business card size, 3 by 5.
I don't know if it's 3 by 5, but it's small.
Smaller, 2 by 3.
So the
2
bench
by
could
3.
be, the bench is needed.
Yeah, we have room for a couple of benches there from our last report, which I don't want to go looking
And
for
this
right
is
this
Jacobs
minute.
Beach.
Yep, this is at Jacobs. And if we're looking to put the splash pad there and put benches around that, that affords us even more benches. Okay, so do you want to make a motion?
I will make a motion to approve a bench at Jacobs Beach, location to be determined, for, in honor of Jamie Waxler.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion on this? Do we want to, okay, all in favor? Let's do this first.
Aye.
Rick, do we want to notify them and ask them if they would wait until next summer to do this, so that perhaps we can put it around our splash pad, because we think that would be a good place for it?
Yeah, whoever the woman was that emailed it.
Just another quick follow-up question on, when we get these benches, is it up to Anthony to place them and install them?
Yes.
Okay. Since he's probably short.
Our maintenance people do that.
I was gonna say, since he's short personnel time, maybe we should defer this.
Well, that's what we just said, we're gonna
Okay.
try and wait until we put this, see if the Wexler family is amenable to waiting until the splash pad goes up, and then we put it around the splash pad.
Okay.
Because
I understand now. Thank
that's
you.
what we feel would be the best place for it.
Isn't there another one?
Yes, there is, we're heading to that one right now, and this is for an Adirondack chair at Jacobs Beach.
This is for Kyle.
For Kyle Hartman. Yes. And we do absolutely have space for that as well.
I think it's fitting.
All right, so someone make a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the request for an Adirondack chair at Jacobs Beach for Kyle Hartman.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, so we just need to make sure we update our.
Yes, we have to
sheet
update our
on
sheet.
That we've added another bench and that we've added an Adirondack chair at Jacobs. Because if we don't update it now, we'll forget.
No. Okay, at the ADA at Chaffinch Island and at Lake Quanapug, we are waiting upon Kim. I mean, we're nagging, but we'll get there. We did go to all the other parks, and they all have nice flat areas in, so I think we're pretty safe with that. Okay.
Is this a response from a complaint at Chaffinch Island?
No. But I think our parks need to be handicap accessible. Having a grandson in a wheelchair, I'd like to know that it's very hard to get to a lot of places. So I think that's the least we could do for people who are in wheelchairs, is let them get near the water.
The one thing that I had sent to you and to Rick is regarding Bittner Park,
Yeah.
handicap parking down by the.
Yes. we're gonna look-
By
we'll look at
the
that.
playground, to me, is a necessity.
Yeah.
Um,
Putting in, we've got to go back and look at we didn't look at the actual parking spots. We need to go back and check the parking spots.
Rose, can I ask a question about the other parks in terms of, there's no handicap picnic tables at the beach?
Yeah, we're going to be looking at that.
There's state, like, you have to have so many handicap parking spots regarding, like, whatever size lot we're talking about? Is there a minimum? Like, state requirement?
There is a state, there is a,
Yeah.
yeah,
When we
there's.
did Jacobs, we had to put in 3, I think.
Yeah, I think that's regulated by state law.
Yeah, there is a standard.
That's why we're waiting upon them to help us do all of
There's
these
two at
things.
Chapman's, yes. And two at Jacobs right now, a sign might have come down.
So we're waiting upon Kim to help us with all of this. Okay, Adams Irrigation.
Well, excuse me, that's the sign is down at Jacobs.
Should be 3, one near the pavilion, one,
It's by the bathrooms.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Rick, when you,
It's the first
yeah,
one
you're
as
right.
you
When you
go in.
pull in, the one on the left is fine, the one on the right closest to the,
yeah,
to the bathrooms.
that's actually only intended to only be one. Originally it was 2, but anyway, there's one there, there's one near the picnic pavilion, and there's one
Okay.
kind of closer to where you go to the boat racks. Near where
By the.
kind of way to the left of the beach,
Yeah,
like near the playground.
So if that's the case, then I guess the post should come out then.
Yeah.
But that's where the walkway to the beach is. So
Right.
you've got that blue walkway that goes down to the beach, so it makes sense to have more.
We're going to go check, we'll check them
Yeah.
all out before spring, and we'll get them all back in where they
And we'll do
be.
2 at Mohill Park too.
Yeah, we'll get this, well, that's, they're using now. The beaches, we don't have to rush immediately. Adams Irrigation.
So, to let the committee know that there was one contractor bid on it, and it was Winterberry, which happens to be our contractor anyway. And they're scheduled to start on September 30th. We're going to do the 2 Little League fields at Adams, and the baseball field at Adams, and the soccer field at Adams. So there was the base bid, and there was alternate 1 and 2. Alternate 1 was the baseball field, and alternate 2, the soccer field. So we're going to do all those. So there's $50,000 in the budget. Little League is giving $5,000, and then we're planning, as long as you guys approve this tonight, I think it's around $27,000 out of the program account. But in that program account, there's money to set aside for field improvements. That was what it's there for. Like when Rush Soccer, Soccer Fest, and all these groups have paid to use the fields, it's gone into an account in the program account for field maintenance, not maintenance, but renovations or improvements. And so the plan was to take, the field committee reviewed it, and they thought it was a good idea to, use some of the money for that, but we're not wiping it out, there's still some in there. So that was what we would like to do, and take that balance, and we can do almost all. The only thing we're not doing is the field hockey field over there. We have a design for it. In the future, we want to do what we can, but it's a least used field. When it's used, it's in the fall. It's not, when it's dry and bad conditions, so I don't think we really need it there. But the soccer field really needs it. And it wouldn't make sense to do the baseball field, not the soccer field, because with the baseball field, it'd be half the soccer field, because the outfield of the baseball field is half the soccer field. So half would be water, the other half wouldn't, so it just didn't make sense. So he said, let's just do the whole soccer field.
So we're talking a total of what, Rick?
I don't have it in front of me. I think it's about 83,000 roughly, 50 from the budget, 5 from Little League. I think it was around 27,000, I think.
Okay.
Out of program account, but again, the money it's earmarked for field improvements.
Yeah.
Can I make a request that when they do the renovations on this, that they take the valve gates that are in the ground, take them outside the playing field?
Those are actually they are going to redo those.
Okay,
Yeah.
because when we did it the last time, they have these green boxes in the middle of well, not in the middle, but it's in the playing area.
Right.
And they should be outside the fence, not inside the fence.
All right, so you need a motion from us?
I guess just to, I'm sorry, I didn't bring it with me. Let's say it's 28 to 30,000. It's less than that, but I don't have. I forgot to bring it.
All right, so basically, what we need is a motion to go ahead with the Adams Irrigation and to approve up to $83,000 to do it.
Well, the Board of Selectmen's already approved it, so I think just the program
Just the
account
27,
part, yeah.
All right, so 27 to 28,000 out of reimbursables.
What is the process for something going out to bid, and how long does someone have to get a bid in?
Usually it's about 2 weeks. The process is we gave the name of 3 irrigation companies that we knew that could do this kind of work, and then they posted on the state DAS website, and then on the town's website, and that's how they advertise it.
And you're obviously comfortable with this company?
Yeah.
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 I make a motion to approve $28,000 for irrigation at Adams.
One second.
Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, the community center ceiling tiles replacement. It's in the big room, the Guilford room. You know how the ceiling tiles look in there, okay. So Todd has been working with Town Hall, and he's came up with a couple of options. I came and looked at all the ceiling tiles. Not that I know anything about ceiling tiles, but I did come and look at them all. And I think the consensus was that the big part of the room, there are metal tiles that we could put there, and they felt that the metal would be better. They're more expensive, but when the kids are throwing balls, they're not going to break.
Yes.
But cheaper in the long run.
In the long run. In the long run. The part where we generally eat, that smaller part, it's not as necessary because they're not throwing. So we could
You
use.
never know, they could get pretty wild in there.
But we could use what are they? I don't know what they are. They're not metal.
It's a different type, yeah.
It's just a
Less
different type.
expensive type.
And less expensive. And both of them have pretty good soundproofing.
So the ones in the lower part are not
None of them are like
these?
these
No.
downstairs. None of them are like these.
I don't think I've ever noticed them, I always thought they were.
Yeah. So,
Just in that room, they're not the same?
right. Because
Now I have
it's
to
because there's
go.
like, because part of it was like a gym, you know.
Right.
And so the ceiling tiles are definitely different in there.
Okay.
So what happens is
So.
when we met with the architect on this, I told him what we need: durability, aesthetics, and acoustic quality. And acoustic quality, both the tiles we're talking about, on the Whitfield side and the metal-based ones on the other side, are better acoustic quality than what we have now. So for concerts in there, there can be more sound absorption or speakers or anything. It's not going to bounce around as much. I mean, it's never going to be great because it's just the shape of the room. But what we have there now, it's called an NRC. I don't know what that stands for. It's acoustic quality. What we have now is 0.7. The one in the Whitfield side will be a 0.85, and the one on the Guilford room side will be a 0.9. The highest is 1. So it's like 90 out of 100. I mean, it's a much better sound absorption quality, and it's more durable because if somebody throws a basketball, it's not going to knock out.
You know, and there's a lot of music during the
Yeah.
lunches, and Sills uses it for concerts, it's used a lot.
So does this
This would
come
come
out
reimbursables.
all of it?
Yes.
None of it's
Nothing's in the budget. Yeah.
We were told we need to have reimbursables.
So if we go
Even
with,
though it's a building?
Yes.
Okay.
if we go with that option that we just talked about, the total, this is an estimate from the architect. So, but we need a commission to say, yeah, we'll go with this option, so they now can put the specs out to go out to bid. But their estimate with demolition, you know, everything, and installing the new ones between those two rooms is, say, $76,000 roughly. There is one other alternate we might throw in here if you guys think it's worth doing. The cupola, way up high, there's a shade in there.
Yeah.
It broke years ago. This is why, one of the reasons we don't allow helium balloons in here anymore. One got caught up in the roller, and somebody went to close that shade, and it ripped the shade, so now you can't use it anymore. It's been disconnected, so it can't even work right now. Since they're gonna be in here with the cherry picker or whatever, to get way up high anyway, we said, well, what would it be if we decide we wanna do this? Like another $8,000. So, if you want, we'll put it in as an alternate. If the total project's still around, under 76, around that, maybe we throw it in. We'll come back to see what you guys wanna do, but.
They're not just changing the ceiling tiles, it's all the grid as well, but that's
All the grid's
included,
getting
yeah,
changed
it's all
too.
different.
Yes.
Okay.
Because what's happening now, there are rails, so look at these squares here. What's there now, just rails this way, not
Yeah.
this way? And so if a ceiling, the ceiling's like this,
Slide down.
if one gets
Right,
knocked out,
right.
yeah, it slides down, Todd's gotta go get it like way in the bottom, work it all the way back up. It's labor intensive to replace those
So
things.
the house, you're replacing that. Now, you said it's not for the whole room, it's just for the area where they play the sports. It's not where they eat.
We're gonna do both sides, but two
Oh,
different,
the
two
whole-
different,
Different tiles.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
right.
But appearance-wise?
It'll look fine.
Yeah, look a
Because
little
there's
different, but
there's
just a
good sized
divider.
barrier between the
Yeah.
two, where you could close the
Yeah.
doors.
So this shade is what keeps the sunlight out.
I mean, it's used, right now it's in a closed position except for the part that's ripped. It doesn't look nice because it's ripped, but I mean, functionally, it's not functional. I think it was there, like if there were, daytime slideshow movies or something, you gotta block off that, the light out of the room there, darken it up. Does it work now as it is? It's in a closed position now, but if you go and look at it, there's a big tear in it. It's more aesthetics than anything right now, and if we think it's worth $8,000 for that, then we put it in. We can put it as an alternate. If the price comes way too high, let's not do it.
Decide when we find out what it is.
Yeah.
Should we just remove it and not have it anymore? Is that possible?
Well, I would do it the opposite way, cover it, because
Yeah.
they do have to darken the room more than they have to have light in the room.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is it necessary for it to be there any longer?
I know. Well, I think it's, like Rick says, there's a lot of slideshows, a lot of things that go on
I'm
down there,
saying,
so
that
if we darken
if
it,
we eliminate it, would that just solve the
I
problem?
mean, it may just.
If we eliminate, then it'll just be open, and then it wouldn't be dark.
No, what he's saying, maybe we just
Cover it
need to
all.
cover it.
I'll cover with something
and call
else.
Call it quits at that.
Yeah.
Rather than a shade, just cover it,
Right. Right.
put a ceiling tile.
Just put a tile over it.
So that's
It's an
something to
option.
think about.
We could talk
too.
about that.
All right, so what we need is a motion to allow us to go forward and put the bid out. Yes?
Yeah, yes, so yes, because we have the architect, he's been approved, they're working on, it's Silver Preczewski. Again, we sent RFPs out to a lot of different companies, and they're the ones that, I think 2 companies responded, and their price was, it was way better. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't a lot, maybe $4,000 or something.
So is our
design this.
motion to approve going ahead and using them and doing the
No, I
project?
think approve the options of the 2 tile, approving 70, let's say $78,000, and then let them go out to bid with it, get the bid out. Then when we get the bid back, we can determine what we want to do. If we want to do this, we'll put that alternate in there for the shade thing, and if it's too much, we don't do it.
Those are original ceiling tiles to the building?
Yes.
Yes.
So they're
That's why I'm amazed
27 years
that
old.
you brought that up as part of the building expense. That's why I'm a little.
We're not, I can understand if it was a couple years old and we were
Right.
changing it, but I mean, this is,
Yeah,
these
that's
are
all.
original.
Right. So
I mean,
1993.
you can
We
say
had
that it could be,
Did
you
we have
know.
any capital improvements and it got cut?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
We
had
put
any
it in,
capital
yeah.
improvements, and we were told.
Well, they proved it, but out of our
They
program
could, we do,
budget.
but out of our reimbursables, that was, we were told that.
Do we have an updated total for that account? I mean, I don't want to talk about it right now,
We
but
do
I'm just,
have-
I know that
believe we
we've
have
been
enough in there,
having to do
yes.
a lot.
I believe we have enough in there, and I have it somewhere, and
Okay.
I will try and get it to
I just
everybody.
want to make sure that, I mean, I know we wanted to spend down, but at the same time, I don't want to
No.
empty us.
No, we
and
have
having-
agreed, no,
Yeah.
we agreed we were keeping.
I mean, I
a
can.
minimum. I think we approved a minimum of 150,000, so
Okay.
we will not go below that.
Okay.
Okay, so, Claire, are you making the motion?
So what the motion is?
That's because
Metal
we're getting
ceiling
tired.
tiles.
So I will make a motion to approve, to go out to bid for metal tiles, or the 2 options that Rick has presented
So
us.
it's called Metalworks Vector,
Metalworks Vector
and Cala are the other ones in the Whitfield room.
for the Guilford and Whitfield room.
Spending up to.
Spending up to
I think that's fair. I don't think we need it.
78,000 out of reimbursables.
Someone second that, please?
I'll second
Any other questions on this? Are we good? Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We really do need to do something, because it looks horrible
Let me
in
just
there.
tell you, these smarties are not
Okay,
any smarter.
we have a couple of other old business real quick. Rick, how's the trash pickup going? I just want to make sure that now that we have our trucks and our guys and everybody.
Still too many
is-
garbage cans down at Chaffinch. It bothers me.
At
Aesthetically,
Chaffinch?
At Chaffinch, there's way too many garbage cans
Too
down at
many,
Chaffinch. I don't know, I just look at that and I think, do we need 3 and 3 and, I don't know. I just think it's way too many garbage cans. I think it just encourages
Is it,
more people
I haven't
just
been
to
down there a
drop
little bit,
things off.
it's the new ones that are down there, right, not the
Yeah,
old round ones?
Yeah.
Um,
There's like the 3, green and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It just
so,
seems like there's just, I don't know, the times I've been down there a lot this summer when I have free time, and it's like, it's never crowded down there, it's always peaceful and wonderful, but I just think there's too many garbage cans.
I can, the guys, I've asked them to make sure they evaluate this, because we don't know, because it's the first time we've done it in a long time. If it looks like they're only half full, then maybe we don't need so many, and we'll start taking some of them out.
I just worry about.
Well, we'll be taking
Things
them out pretty soon.
I have seen
Yeah.
before, like at Quantify, when people are just using it for their own
So,
personal.
Right.
we'll be taking them out for the winter anyway. So
Oh,
we
okay.
Or reducing
when we
it
start to put
anyways.
them back next year, we'd be a little more careful about.
Putting them out and then reevaluating.
And then
again.
reevaluating as the
Yeah.
summer goes on, as the season goes on.
I think we should pilot it as no trash cans there. That would be.
I would love to see what happens. I would
This
love to
past
see-
weekend, Guilford High School had a jamboree for their girls varsity soccer. And at the simultaneously, Guilford Soccer Club of Guilford had their program there too. And there were no.
At least, it
there
was
were-
packed.
It was packed, I mean, and there were no garbage cans on the soccer fields, and there wasn't any trash on the ground. Everybody picked it up, took it home.
Wasn't like Woodstock.
Well, we have cans, but they're not on the field. I think they're over by the porta-johns, I think.
Yeah,
But
they're over by the porta
Not
johns.
scattered around, yeah.
So, no, they're not
Yeah.
scattered around the fields, they're
Yeah.
not just strategically placed by.
But they were used by the porta-johns. The ones that were there were used.
Yeah, right, there's
Right,
trash.
but
yeah.
I'm saying is that the fields were trash-free, because we used to put cans
Yeah.
out in the fields.
got it.
Right.
And,
And they weren't used when they were put there,
well.
all the time.
All the time. I mean, nature is that, I mean, and I was so ecstatic as I'm hearing coaches saying, all right, kids, pick up your stuff while you're taking it out of here.
Were you
And they
roughing?
were. I was roughing
Yeah.
it, yes.
But
Yeah.
our biggest complaints were downtown here. So are they happier? I mean, it's.
Happy because, well, two things, mainly because we took the barrels away from the stores, they're not there
Right, and
anymore,
so
they're on the green. And I used to get calls almost every week from
Right.
some store owner, because they were ugly, were overflowing, and they're not, and so,
Great, by the way, that you took those away.
Yeah.
yeah.
How did it go on Sundays with the concerts? Because some of those got really, like.
Filled.
Yeah.
So was
yeah.
it okay, like no complaints, that
No,
garbage
no,
cans?
'cause our guys are there Monday morning,
Monday
emptying it.
morning cleaned up.
Awesome.
Working. That's my concern.
Yeah, it's going well, and the committee that's, I think they're almost ready to order, they're getting close to ordering the Big Belly solar-powered barrels that's gonna go on the green, that it's being paid for by businesses. They're doing some fundraising now, and they're getting close to order them, I think, and that'll help a little bit, because they can handle a lot of trash, they
Yeah,
compact it.
Compacts it.
Yeah. But to answer your question, Rose, it's going well. The guys actually like the truck. It's easy to operate. One of the guys says, this is the easiest job we do. Which didn't used to be when they had to pick up those barrels and dump them. Now they just push a lever and the thing grabs it and dumps it, and it's a nice looking little truck, it really is. And we're gonna get our logo on it. I ordered it, we're waiting to get it. The Parks and Rec logo, it's gonna go on the side like the bus has it.
Great.
Can I add something to the business?
I had one more thing.
You want it done
Can I do
right,
one
do
more
it
thing?
yourself, right, Rick?
What's that?
I said, if you want it done right, you gotta do it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, this may be really quick. The peddler's ordinance, have you checked into that? You were gonna check into that?
Yes, and Matt and I are going to speak about it.
Okay. We just need
I mean,
clarification on it.
Yeah,
That's all we want,
nothing
just to
has
know.
changed on the green right now. Food trucks are still there.
Right.
So I was still confused about that.
Okay.
Considering.
Our concern is Jacob, how that's
Right.
gonna work.
So, because we currently go through the police department and get our, we allow one vendor pass through the police department, they get all,
Whoever they have, every year I call them and ask, who do you have? And so this year there were two at the time.
yep.
And then whoever offered, it was like a bid in a sense,
Right.
whoever offered to pay the most, to us, which then goes into the, not reimbursable, it goes in general fund, it's under our miscellaneous revenue.
There seems to be a lot of confusion about this new.
Right. Okay.
I'm not even sure if some of the vendors really understand that, are currently here, understand, so they might be revamping them.
Yeah, I give a shout out to the gentleman selling the lemonade.
Oh, he was wonderful.
Very
Yes.
personal people, they have a great product.
They did a great job
Yeah,
down
they
there.
did a great job
Yeah.
down there this summer.
Lemonade,
And
yeah,
then
and they,
lemonade,
again, they paid us, they paid us for the exclusive right, there's no one else selling lemonade or anything, beverage down other than, the ice cream truck, but I'm not sure how the new policy is gonna work.
Yeah, it was just great on those hot days or concert nights, to
Yeah.
just go over there and grab something.
Yeah, nice family.
And speaking of concerts, the concerts were great this year, so.
Yeah.
Really good. Okay, yes, what would you like to add?
And this is gonna be, again, we're gonna have to rethink this in spring, but if I don't say it now, I'll probably forget. At the pavilions at Jacobs, when you rent them, so I secured both pavilions at the end of August, and we came to set up, and we had a plan on how we were gonna set up, but there was a family that was camping out in one of them, and we made it very clear, like we even said that we had rented them and like put all our stuff. They were not going to move. They did not move.
Did they say they rented it also?
No,
or-
no,
Huh.
and they just started grilling and like hanging out, so we like crammed into the one, which was fine, like we were absolutely fine, we really didn't need the two. But is there a way to put a kiosk, and I know this is more work on either the beach people or office here, even if it's just a printed piece of paper that says, reserved 6 to 5:30 with, you know, whatever, whoever.
Oh, like just changing.
Just
All-
so.
all
Like
the-
this thing, it's
all of-
exactly like Michael's thing.
Yeah.
All of the
Yeah.
pavilions at Hammonasset State Park have a sign on them to say whether they're open or closed, or reserved or open. And they go through the park every morning and they flip them to the ones that say reserved. And if you take over a reserved, park ranger evicts the people that are there.
Claire, that might be a police matter. Somebody should check with the chief, the police. That might be a police matter.
I mean,
Well, I think before it becomes a police matter, we need to establish, how do we notify people that it is reserved?
Was it a day when we had gate guards there?
No.
Okay, because they know, they get the
Right.
list of anybody that has a
I'm
reservation.
trying to think, no, because it was the 26th of August, so no.
No, and the signs that they have at
Right.
Hammonasset are
I
very
mean,
rustic.
school wasn't,
They
but it
fit
was
right
an
in.
evening one, so I think they would have been done for the day
Oh,
anyway.
maybe after
It
5
was
or?
5, I had it reserved from 5 to 9, or
Okay,
5
so-
to 8 or something.
Well, the other.
But I just think, and even,
Yeah.
you know, just if we had that there to say that it was reserved, or Pavilion 1 was reserved this time, but also at the bottom to remind people, because I brought my own trash out, but like a lot of people don't. I know it's on the policy and you sign it, but they don't. So, you know.
You have trash barrels there. That's-
Right, just a reminder
Yeah.
that,
More
you know.
reason to get rid of trash cans, this is what I'm saying.
And
Yeah, we have
also
to have that for camp.
But if, you know, I don't know, maybe after camp, if we move them away from the pavilions, only because like everyone was laughing at me with my garbage bags. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, you've got to remove your garbage. They're like, there's garbage cans right there. I'm like, I'm not taking that home.
Yeah.
Like, so I think just reminders, and anywhere we can post it, that it's if you're having a party, it's take your own
I'm trying to
garbage.
remember, do we have any
You know, we need
signs
to,
on the pavilions by reservation? I know the one up at Quanapon
Well,
does.
here's what I'm thinking, Rich. We
nothing
need
down
to, we need to rethink Quanapog, after our talk with Matt, and we need to rethink some of the things maybe at the lake. So maybe this is something that we can sit down, you and I, Ellen and Claire, come up with a plan for both parties, both facilities, pavilions and everything, and then bring it to the commission, rather than all of us sitting here trying to figure this out.
Right.
Maybe there should be something too on the rental that says if you have any issues, call, whether it's the police department or whatever, call this number and it'll be addressed. Because, I mean, Claire, they wouldn't leave?
No, I mean, they were, like, it was very obvious, and, you know, I did say that we had both pavilions rented, and, like, for me, it wasn't a huge deal, because we all fit in one, and the kids were out in the field and everything, but I was just thinking, like, if I wasn't, you know,
But
if
you
I,
paid money for it.
you know, like, so I would have had a problem with it, but.
You're the third person I've heard that from happening this summer. I've never
Yes.
heard it happen before. Where
I mean,
people-
they were just, I mean, they
Yeah.
lit up their grill.
So we
they-
do need to come up with some
Yeah.
sort of a policy and how we're gonna handle it,
Right.
so we can do that.
Yeah, so people should have an
Okay.
out as opposed to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
they should have, in
And
case
that
of-
was
call
what we
this
were
number.
avoiding. We didn't
Yeah.
want to, because
Right.
we had kids with us, so
Yeah.
it was just like, you know what, have your thing, enjoy.
But we need to have the policy before we can do anything about it. So that's where we need to go with that, I think.
Just when you're on Park and Rec.
All right, I had two more bits of new business, guys, and we're almost done. Bittner Park. Okay, Rick, you want to address, we're talking, the back part of Bittner Park with that ugly plastic.
Oh, the storage thing?
The storage area there, which we do use. So,
So I got a quote to replace the plastic on it. Tony feels pretty strongly we do need it, because I asked about, well, we have tarps that are sitting over the clay pile now. He said, yeah, but they're huge, they're a pain to move out, and there's, a lot of times there's black snakes in there, and they move a tarp and there's snakes
Tony doesn't like
slithering
those?
around.
They're snakes.
Um,
As long as they're not rattlers.
And anyway, the quote was, there's only one company that I know of, there are probably others, but the one, Public Works got the name of a company, and I called them, the guy went and looked at it. To replace it, it's $2,800, and that includes, he had to rebuild some of the wood is rotted, so some of, the frame, the metal, it's metal, the frame, but there's.
Where is it now? When you go into the back towards the disc golf, it's on your left.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
mafia blocks there, the big concrete blocks.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
There's
yeah.
one skeleton frame that I think that lasted 10 or 15 years, that thing. Public Works put it there originally because they had sand up there. They were for North Guilford, they were taking sand out of there, and they had to keep it dry. And then they stopped using it. We keep our clay and topsoil and stuff in those things, but, anyway, I think it got destroyed in Sandy or Irene, I think, one of those storms. I think it really, started ripping it and then just got worse. And now there's not much there at all except the skeleton. But, so, I just got this quote today, and if we want to do it, it'd be $2,800, but I got to try to find 2 other companies for that amount, because anything over 2,000, we got to get 3 quotes. I don't know who else does it, though. I mean, Public Works gave me this guy, they're using him, I guess, down there, so.
Maybe a greenhouse company.
That's what he is, actually. He's a greenhouse company.
But if Public Works is already using them, and that's been approved as a bid and everything,
Yeah,
would
unless
it not-
they're,
it doesn't
I can't
roll
imagine
over
anything
for us?
smaller. Theirs must be the same size. Yeah, I'll find out what.
Well, you don't get free bids, like you had previously, we were just, I forget which one it was. Do you have to like do some sort of sole source form or something like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So it needs to get done.
Yes, it needs to get done. Okay. Do we need a motion for that, Nicole, you think?
Yes, yeah.
Or a motion basically to get the work done down there.
All right, I'll make a motion for the sand pits to be recovered and restored to appearance. Functionality.
Second? Any more discussion on that?
You want to put a dollar amount on it at all, or?
Well, he's got to come up with.
Got a quote for 2,800.
All right, so we don't want to go over that, though,
No,
right?
we don't.
All right, so make a motion that the sand pits at Bittner be restored to functionality, spending no more than $2,800.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. One last thing, and then we're going to go into executive session for like 2 minutes. I know. The piano in the room over there, whose name just really suddenly left me, I'm sorry. The grand piano needs work. I'm not going to check it. It needs fixing up. So the question is, do we spend the money to fix it up? Do we need it? Do we want it? It was donated to us. We have a piano here now, too. How many pianos do we have? Now we have a piano downstairs.
I've got enough for it, you guys can have.
Every year, somebody calls me and says, "Do you want another piano?" I said, "No, we don't really have room for any more."
So
We have 3.
we currently have, counting that one, 3.
Yes.
Are they used?
Yeah.
How often are they used?
Well, the one used the most is in Alexander Lounge. We have our senior choir group down there.
So they need a piano.
That was used.
They use that one every.
Mostly
yeah.
recitals. Rose asked me, and I have to look it up. I'm thinking it may be 4 recitals. It might be more than that, but recitals.
Is the one in the Alexander room, is that a baby grand?
No, it's just like this one.
It's
a little
just an
upright.
upright, it's an upright.
Yeah.
So what kind of work, I mean, are you talking about, like, when does it get retuned? Because usually, like, I know.
No, this is more than retuning.
Yeah, okay.
Cameras need replacing.
Okay,
No, this
so I was
is.
gonna say, like, sometimes up at the church,
I know,
and people
twice a
on
year,
their side,
yes.
they would pay for the retuning just to, you
Right.
know, as a courtesy.
Part,
to
as,
just- Yeah.
yes.
Right.
But this
So I
needs
just wondered-
major work,
oh.
apparently. So my question to Rick was, first of all, how much is it gonna cost to do this? And second of all, is it worth fixing? I mean, if somebody is using it or renting the room, once or twice a year for a
Right.
recital, that's not a significant amount of money.
No, and we have 3. We really need 3 pianos.
Remember Don Courier?
Yeah, that's who doing it. His group doing
The
it.
foundation had money from that fundraising that they held.
Right, and Rick said that's been used.
I think it all came to us, and it was put in the gift fund, and I think it's all gone, because there are times, either we used it for piano tuning, or it had to be moved. There were some other repairs over the years we did with it, and I know it had to get moved for something downstairs one time, and for the piano mover to move it, and then tune it again when they moved it back. I think that got pretty much depleted.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
money,
Rick, can we just, next time someone calls and wants to donate one, just say yes?
There's so many people
that
get
want
rid
it,
of
yeah,
pianos that
pianos.
you don't want.
Yeah.
Meaning.
We could just replenish them on the green every year, too. I mean,
Yeah.
the one that they put on the green, which
Right.
is great, I think, but.
But this is a baby grand, that's the
Yeah.
only baby grand. And to Kathy's point, there was this group that in 1993 3 or 4 that donated that to us, and they had a big fancy concert downstairs, and I mean, it was really, really nice. It was very high class, women in evening gowns, guys in, tuxes and bow ties, and it was, it was a very.
Can we get an estimate on how much it is?
Yeah.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to get an estimate on how much it would cost to get it repaired, and also how much are we,
I think I have that. Again, I have it downstairs. I believe it's around $2,800 is what the number was.
And then how often are we renting it out, and how often is it used? Let's get some statistics before we
Yeah.
make a decision.
Yeah. I just hate to give up a baby grand without, really. Think upright's
Is
one
that a
thing.
brand name, or?
No, it's a type of piano.
Is it a Steinway? Yeah. They're
I
very
think it might be a Yamaha.
And who uses this one?
It's a concert style.
This one doesn't get used that much. We used to have piano classes up here, and they used to use about, I don't think it's used all that much anymore.
Well,
And all three of
Shoreline
these pianos
Piano in
donated.
North Branford is gone.
Yes, we never purchased a
You're
piano.
not gonna find anything
far as
on
I know.
Shoreline.
So if I play piano,
Okay.
I can just come in and just sit down and play on it if I want to.
Sure, the room's empty.
I wonder if we could find someone that.
Well, let's get these statistics on this first before we decide what to do. Let's see what happens.
I do.
Yeah,
I know.
but I think it needs more than tuning, so we'll talk to Rick.
Yeah, The guy who came to look at it, he came from New York, and he was recommended very highly by 2, very good piano teachers in town.
Okay,
And that's who they said he's the guy to go to. And that's who came and looked at it.
all right. Okay, well, let's just see what the statistics are. Okay.
I just have one quick question.
So I would like to,
Before we finish.
quick, because we're running out of time.
Okay. Coxfields, what's the story between transferring them from?
I don't think we have anything definitive yet.
Well, it is a park. I mean, it's been approved to be a park. We just have to officially change the name, which is
So
commission
the
approved.
transfer has been made from
Yeah.
Board of Education?
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I was.
You did that, I'm sorry. Okay, can we get a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion to go into an executive session at 8:19.
Okay, and we are inviting Rick and Kathy to just wait outside for 2 seconds, and then we'll invite them back in.
Who's seconding the motion?
I'll second.
Okay. Do this in much shorter time than that.
Watch out, I don't like to talk.
Okay. All right, so, Rick, we have had a discussion, and we have decided that someone is going to make a motion very shortly that we name the disc golf course, the Rick Maynard Disc Golf Course, because you have worked so hard on that disc golf course.
Will you sign this for me, please?
So actually, I'll put it in the form of a
mental.
motion that we name the disc golf. You put heart and soul into that, and we really appreciate all that you've done for that. So we felt strongly that it ought to be named after you.
I don't need anything named after me, though. It's just.
I know you don't need it,
love
but it was
doing
like something we thought we would like to do.
No, thank you.
Somebody second that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wow. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second, we're out.
All in favor?
And see, you get to see something while you're live.
I know,
I know, right?
I guess I gotta retire now.